they'll want something for themselves to click into. They'll have lots of ideas and lots of things they want to do, and we just make a informed decision at this stage, because there's no big committee to go and get an answer from or approval from, other than ourselves, me and Kingy, for starters. It goes from there into a forum in your area. So at this time it's just early days for the tsunami.
Yep.
So it's been my pleasure to talk to you.
Awesome. Oh.
Kai and you, Goy, but online just leave some suggestions or questions, and I got the Scottish people, the kids. They always ask me this and that. They're interested in the title projects.
Okay.
That's the kids for you.
Wow.
The kids are 10, the boys 10, and the girls 15.
Mm.
They're onto this
Yeah.
because they're reading. Their mother is into the administration for Scotland, so she's on our executive. Her and her husband, he's a builder, a road, a construction builder, and he's in where's he? Part of Scotland, not far from where's that place? I forget now. Anyway, Glasgow.
Glasgow, yeah.
That's where our title is, in Glasgow. I've got to go there and check the titles here. The Manukau title. And then we've got Sue Young in Dover,
Yep.
England, and that's where I want to put the turbine. She's been in the Navy on the ships,
Okay.
so she's interested in the tidal projects off Margate, up top of Kent.
Okay.
So I've got a fair handle on the monarch families and all that sort of thing. If I go there, I'm pretty well up to it. Where we fit in amongst it all. So that would interest them to get down here.
Yep.
And it's the Pacific Ocean that's at risk of being taken over by the elite that I'm wanting to save the whole Pacific with
Yep.
that Moai as the
Choice.
doctrines of discovery in there.
Wow.
Is standing in London.
Yeah.
And it's in Brussels. They took it and put it in those big countries, France, New York, Washington. That's our title. We can stand there beside it and do your Maori thing still.
Yep.
From
Yep.
a Hapu point of view. They can
Yep.
go and stand there in London, right there, and say, we're here. We're here. We got a little story telling you. Yeah? And it's a real one.
Yep.
Yeah? Here we are.
Mm.
Finally, we can put our efforts into improving relations with those countries. See? So that's talking from a king's point of view.
Yeah.
Where something's missing. The spirit has gone out of it, and it's gone pear-shaped on somebody getting everything.
Yep.
So we just hold them to account, and hold anybody here to account for what's happened,
Yes.
for everybody's sake. Because
Yep.
Pākehā, everybody is in the same boat.
Yep.
There's
That's
no
right.
different. They're no
Yeah,
different
that's
to
right.
us. The beast is bigger than us.
Yep.
And so that's why I say numbers, as membership of this, is safe. Is safe with the king if they see what's in it for them. If they see what's in it for them, like few people now going on those websites, and they're clocking into all those websites as want to be interested, then it needs marketing, and the young people will be good at marketing the concept from their own experience on their own land in a short time. And you get this one going on the coast, then you'll see the next one bang up.
Yep.
And that's without upsetting any community or anybody on any other land, because all the land will be the same. They'll be told the same story too. Join us,
Yep.
and you'll be the same. See, doesn't affect anybody if they can see it's good for them to drop where they are. And what we tend to do is to settle a mortgage. What we tend to do is settle the mortgage with the Crown, same way in the court.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because those lands that are there, the people got freehold land, come out of married land.
Yeah.
And so all you have to do is stand up for those people, for the marae, and put the claim in. It's all claim.
Yeah.
The same claim as I'm doing on Cook Street.
Right? Yeah.
The married land is a different matter. It's pretty easy to do that on shareholding in the land, because we just let them know this way, and they'll jump in to make it work for them. See?
Yep.
And eliminate anybody trying to upset what's going on in the area. But basically you do your own assessment.
Yep.
Like native assessor sort of thing,
Mm.
to help those that are on the land to keep it, or to give it up and compensate them for what's lost out on. You don't. We'll build the government with that big 970 million trillion pound note. They scare when they see something like that. It's out of this world, but what isn't when they're running something of fiat money? That's funny money.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep.
so it's just one note that's better than theirs, right? So we can put any figure on anything to balance the books. The balance the books in that area on assessing, well, where did you get that from? From Cook Street. See? So we'll value the higher end of a piece of land by a square metre. Not so much by acre, but by square metre. So if you split up 2.5 billion in 1 metre, you see what I mean. Right? It's not their call, it's our call.
Yep.
To recover what they've done. When you see they go right up to 2,000% on $1, it mounts up. And when you get what they bought this place for, 1/3 of the value, with the pound note devaluing the pound note into $1, we lost 2/3 of the value of the land. And they gained with the pound note. That's what we're doing in reverse.
Yeah.
Right? You can see that?
Yep.
Tricky?
Yep.
He's clever. He's clever. I'm going to give him 2 marks for that. But that's the message to your people down there. So watch this video and take stock of it and start using it. Claim it, it belongs to them. It belongs to you all. And I'm just there to set it up and go on a bit of a holiday. With my trusty bottom, my accolade, and sit under the rocks and see if I can go and find something. Alright? With that, thank you very much for this hui. And come back again sometime.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
but I hope you can make a start from this.
Yeah,
And
we can.
and keep support
Yeah.
this way and that way. We'll support you.
Yep.
And the family. It's like Jamie and her kids.
Mm.
You know, she's passionate about her kids and she wants this and that for them, and trying to be someone with a job after so many years. She wants to learn, and this is the way she can do it.
Yep.
She's always been a firm believer.
Kapai. Yeah, we a couple of take there. There's not a great deal that we haven't already planned, But some of the couple of the matters I wanted to bring up at some stage. I'm glad I left it to the end. Was we got should we worry too much? I guess the question is, Matua, with our battles with the crown. I guess we have to, in urgency, take things at this stage for the super tribe in terms of representing the super tribal claim.
To answer that is simply this. This is a system with the flag to eliminate any struggle of a claim against the crown.
Okay.
When we are purporting to be the crown, then it makes it easier to talk from that angle,
That's right. Yeah.
from one marae, that where the authority comes from, and base that on a precedent case. So with the iwis having settled with the Crown on their treaty claims, that's a contract. If you treat those discussions and settlements as a contract, it's just another contract. What we are is just another contract, right? Of a different kind that is still working in the system. Okay. It follows the land laws of New Zealand, the New Zealand law, and it follows the British law. So we're using two laws to satisfy any claim of any hapu, of any person that is not in the hapu, to come and join this claim, where it's neutral on discrimination of any culture or church or anybody. It is a safe place to bring any problems with land. It is specifically land that we deal with on an original title case. Right? That settles who's on the land and what's on it. Is other interests of foreigners, local people, businesses, people with 2 or 3 names for the same name, and fictitious names. They are still businesses stacked up as titles on top of a title. So you hold a Maori title or a native title, is still there. It can't go away because this country is not clear title. They have not bought it. They had no right to buy it from themselves. Right? The Crown is talking to the Crown in the mirror because they set up the Maori as their entity, and they sold us as collateral for their business of admiralty. It's all in the flag of convenience to sell something of value. Right? That means people, businesses are people. They treat companies in capitals or with apostrophes around it as a person. So that person is sellable on the market. So our birth certificates are on the stock market as valuable merchandise. Okay? So I'm saying they've got the same problem with people, whether they're in a hapu or iwi. We're treating them as members of a Moai King William Trust. Okay? So that's the bank account, is the Moai Crown King William Trust. Business. It has to be a business. It has to be legal. It has to have an authority. And that's what I'm saying. To all your people, and as big as they are in numbers, they own it. They own everything I'm saying. Right? And it's already international. We're already out there. We don't have to try to trade. It's set up.
Yep.
Long ago, 182 years ago, when it was first commissioned. How's that? It's taken 182 years for you
Yeah.
and everybody else to understand at least what it is that they've been holding back from us. Biggest bank secret in the world. You're not supposed to know. And
Yep.
so everybody's treated fairly on a piece of land that the Queen says she owns. The distinction between anybody living in this country, at least the Commonwealth countries, 38 of them, is part of this. And that's what I'm saying. If you divide the country's area into whatever the whole thing was made for their business of the Queen, then the government controls that. And the Governor General, who just happens to be a Maori. Right? You see the picture? The penny drops when he goes to England as the ambassador of New Zealand to sell the rest of the last bit of Maori land. The Maori land belongs to the Maori Affairs Department, which is the documents of the Crown. It doesn't say anything about Hapu owns it, the copyrights, the patents. It's the Crown. Okay? So we're up against the Crown, and we are the Crown. Their crown is metal on the Queen's head. Ours is earth on the hat, on the Moai. They made sure in New Zealand, in Dunedin, because it was the Pakihi's country, to get a Moai with a hat on his head, and put the one in Auckland with no hat. See, you see, the mana is in the hat. The basket of knowledge is in the hat on top of the Moai's head. And you'll notice the one in England has got no hat. He got no hat on his head because the mana is over here. It's logic, common sense to figure out why they did that. That's what you tell your people down there. It's yours. In a story.
Yep.
Happy with it?
Yep.
You like that story?
Yeah.
Good.
I'll wrap with that. Yeah.
Write a book.
So we just need to register and that's it.
Yeah, leave it at that for
Yep.
now because you've got your claim in.
Yeah.
The kids can put their names on it. There's no age limit. There's no age limit.
But the kotahitanga thing, you know, the taimata, we're supposed to sign papers for that one?
What's that?
The taimata, I think, to
No.
join the taimata. Oh,
No,
sorry.
this is purely business. This
sorry.
is commercial.
Okay.
The marae is another matter. That's the
Oh.
landowner. They're the landowner. But we are administering their business, right? For the taumata. But the taumata,
Okay.
the authority of a marae is the land itself.
Yep.
Right? They are the gatekeepers.
Mm.
We're establishing that as time goes in the four regions. The first titles, Ulster and Munster. The Irish to keep it Irish. Right? No, it was just, that's how they set it up.
Oh, okay.
They sold it as Ulster and Munster on the record, on the history. And every other matter doesn't come into this equation. Only what was set up by that king. Not any other king. When they start talking about King Alfred and King and Columbus and all the rest of it, even in America they talk about Columbus. They wiped it out. They're burning the American flag now because it was not what it's supposed to be. Independence. There was nothing.
Oh.
It was the Queen that took it from this one, right? This is the only Declaration of Independence flag. No other flag in the world. You see?
Didn't know that.
It was cleverly done because of a native. New Zealand is small enough to see the edges on a title on a piece of paper. You couldn't do it in Australia because there's too many people, Aborigines to talk to get their consent. New Zealand was easy because there was only a few. They got rid of most of the Maoris, shot them out so that they can land up with a few. Huh? Is that sound right?
Yep.
The numbers?
Yep.
There was only 2,000 pakis when they first came here in 2004.
Yeah,
1840.
something like that.
And now there's only something like 500,000 left. Right? So you see the numbers why they came here was to eliminate the natives so that they can dominate the title. Right? They haven't bought it. It's not clear title. They haven't bought a Napu out. If they would have bought Napu out, it's all over. You can forget about the flag. I've been telling them for a long time, don't sign settlement. Because you're really making a contract that you don't wish to have it anymore. See? So Ngāti Pro Sue Nakora stopped that claim. 130 million, she stopped it.
Okay.
But she wanted it for her. I said, Sue, that's going to be hard to get that. She said, oh, we'll have our money, Sue. I'm still waiting. I said, Sue, the money's in front of you there, right on that land there. But she tried that trick way back, Martinga, and they got arrested. But, yeah, because she was using the sovereignty part of... See, Sue Nakora was with Sir Geoffrey Palmer and put the 1986 Constitution together. She did. And went to the United Nations to get this country. But when they went to get it, Sir Geoffrey Palmer says, they asked him, who is this for? And he says, for New Zealanders. And the Jamaican guy says, but it doesn't say New Zealanders on our documents. It says the chiefs of Aotearoa. That was the end of it. The same as those ones that have been going to Westminster. They say, who are you? See? Where are you from? And the same with King Tuhatia went to Helen Clark in UN. That backfired too. Because he went there to get the title for New Zealand. But same thing again. It didn't have the right words on with the Confederation of Chiefs.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was the part that really divided all the hapus, was the fact that Ngāpuhi was blowing its trumpet but didn't know how to do the administration of this. And told me to shut up when I went up there for years. And I tried to tell them this for a long time, and it just fell on deaf ears until all the old people went and left Kingy there. I said, Kingy, what you got to do now? See? And Kingy says, don't know. I said, well, you're the chief. So it worked out. It worked out really good in the end.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so that's for your people. It's best to just unify and grab this.
Yes.
Just grab this and start using it as best as you can.
Start using it straight away.
Because it'll only kick in when the pound note kicks off and the piece of land is taken. Right? 1 equals the whole lot.
For sure. Yeah.
So that's basically as easy as I can make it.
Yeah. No, that's...
but it still needs administration.
Yes.
You still have to work out how you're going to manage something like that.
Yep.
See? I can't do everything.
Got that in my bag pretty much, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do everything. I've got to give you the idea and you've got to go
Yeah.
and sort it out
Yep.
on that basis. Per square metre, just remember that one. What can I get out of a square metre? What can I squeeze out of a square metre?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
So that's the name of the game. Is it affects everybody, not just the hapu or the iwi. It affects everybody.
Yep.
It's in the same boat. The beast has got control, and they're killing themselves off. All we going to do is step in when it's all over. If I don't get gassed before I get there. But you know, there may be some certain risks, but I think if I'm out in the open, then there's other people who are going to jump in and get whatever.
Yep.
So it makes it less for me to be, left with something that affects the big business.
Yep.
Yeah, because they're just taking too much. They're just over the hill, over the top, And that was like John Key signing the TPPA. They didn't care about who's a Maori, or whose land it is, right? And that's offence. That's offensive. We found that offensive out there. Even the iwi was starting to agree with us, with Kingi. They just couldn't get over being ignored, right? Even though they said the iwi said, "We got to charge you because that's what we're told to do."
Yep.
We've got to charge you that much. It's against our tikanga, but that's what the executive says. See. So anyway, but watch what the young ones watch what I do with Scotland and those kids over there, and other kids watching when they start playing